Well, boo is all I have to say. This is Robin Raskin in whatever disguise I could round up, welcoming you to the October meeting of the virtual events group, right on time, the day before Halloween. I did the physical dress up, but you do not have to, because we are going to take you into an immersive world where you can celebrate Halloween without ever touching a horrible mask or a horrible wig, but I really like this knife. So today we're really, as you know, if you've come to virtual events group meetings, we look to experiment with different ways that people gather and meet and what that means to them. And today we have, I'm going to take this off now because I'm going to move to my PowerPoint. We have our haunted Halloween in chamber space. So I want to tell you a little bit about who you're going to meet. I'm going to introduce you to Dalia Elgazar, who almost needs no introduction if you've been in the events business at all. Dalia runs Dalia Plus Agency and can spot talent way before it happens. And David Aubespin, who has a terrific background in designing events and in particular virtual events. And Chamber.space is his newest venture. And we're going to take you there in just a few minutes, but just because I feel like I'll show you this one more time in case you came in late. There I am. And now I am going to, and I see a few others of you. Mia, you look fabulous, dressed up. We're also on LinkedIn and on Facebook, so God knows what you guys are seeing there. But I hope you're dressed up too. And now I'm going to turn into real me, minus the hairbrush, and welcome you again, because I really want to turn this over to Dalia and David and get you thinking about an important question. And we're going back to my important question. That is really what you think about what the next generation will want from their meetings. And David and Dahlia, why don't you introduce yourselves quickly, say hi, and take us into what you're thinking about when it comes to next gen meetings.
Awesome. Robin, I have to give you kudos and all my Reese's buttercup as a kudos for the costume that you have on. This is my costume. So I just want you to see this is me being cognito as me. So welcome everybody and hello, hello, hello. Very quick because I do not believe in introductions and I can't top what Robin already introduced me as. Hi, Kate. I see you laughing, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, my name is Dahlia, and I love, love, love that new tech and new uh, people that design differently for us to create a mind shift when we are putting together experiences, content, communities that we're building, education. And it's truly like, how do you energize event participants to do more and to be active more in whatever setting that we are in? So, segue to David because David is going to do his own introduction with his little French beret. But I do want to say here's the challenge for you with all the butterfingers in the whole world delivered to your doorstep is to think of events, especially digital events, and ugly Zoom calls that you've been on and you've rolled your eyes, or in my situation, my team always shut down my camera because my face used to say so much more than I did not want to be in this scenario. So David is going to introduce us to a very, very different way of events. So David, I'm giving it right back at you.
Thank you, Dalia, and happy Halloween, everyone. Thank you for joining this event today. So, a couple of words about me. I'm, as you can hear and maybe see, originally from France, but moved to the US almost a quarter of a century ago, and I now live in New York. I've been in tech for pretty much my entire life, but more specifically in event tech for almost 15 years. I was at Google in the past, and I started thinking about ways to connect people at events, and that's how I started Topi, which eventually got acquired by Hopin. I was the VP of product of Hopin, for those of you who know, for a few years. And this was a very exciting moment. And I think Chamber is pretty much the next step in what I'm thinking about when it comes to a virtual event.
Perfect, perfect. So I have a couple of questions for you. And please, everybody on this call, you have to help me out here because the coffee has not kicked in. The sugar has kicked in more because I stole my kids' Halloween candy. Just FYI. In that note, also in the chat, please tell us what your favorite Halloween candy is and if you are dressing up for Halloween. So that's what. But David, I have a couple of questions for you here on Zoom, and then we're going to segue into Chamber. And then I have a couple of other tricky questions for you there as well. So we're going to talk about the curse of the passive audience. And we've all been there where you have webinars, Zooms, people look like, oh yeah, Robin's already got the knife out. It's literally something she puts next to her at all times when she's on Zoom calls or Teams calls. Anybody going on Teams calls, I wish you all the best. May God be with you. So, David, from your perspective, what are the key ingredients of, I know that you've built this concept up, especially in Chamber. What are the key ingredients of active attention that event planners need to summon to keep audiences truly alive in digital spaces?
Yeah. So at least from my perspective, I think there are really three things that need to be addressed. The first one is presence. I think that's by far the most important. People need to actually feel the space that they're in and others who are in it, and as opposed to just a grid on the street. And as beautiful you all look, it does feel a little bit passive. And actually, more often than not, I'm sure you've been to those meetings where everybody turns their screen off, and then all you have is a grid of gray rectangles, which is not exciting for attention. The second one is serendipity, something that I very strongly believe in. I believe that if you let people explore and start conversations organically to kind of recreate coffee break moments, that helps a lot in captivating their attention. And the last one is agency. I think you need to let people kind of write their own book. They need to be able to control how they move, how they explore, and pretty much interact with the experience on their own term. That's and the opposite of that is also true. I would say everything that where you have a static experiences, very linear, etc., and things that are rigid are usually the fastest way to lose engagement.
Yeah. And so with those three ingredients, so what do event planners need to do to change the mind shift in regards to digital events? Because at the moment, everybody's super tired. Their brains are fried. They are thinking, "Oh my God, are we going back to virtual digital events? That was not a time that I want to embrace again." Even though like all the signs of the times are showing that you should have it as a parallel world, if you will, with all the content and experiences that you have in person that everybody loves. But what are the key elements that they need to do in order to either change their mind or their leadership mind or their very tired team mind? And is there a need for a new skill set or a new design like mind that they need? I keep saying mind all the time, but
Yeah.
another way of thinking of things so that people don't roll their eyes and say, "Oh, this reminds me of the Corona coaster." And I said the Corona coaster for Robin. I did not use the P word, but the Corona coaster.
Woo,
So
Corona coaster.
exactly. So how can they think differently and then communicate that to their teams?
Yeah. I see totally what you mean. So I think the analogy that I would use is from my standpoint, I think event planners need to move from the role of conductors of preset, predetermined experiences into more of an architect of experiences that can create or at least co-create in the case of Chamber, as I will show. And for that, I think one of the critical new skill is really to understand that serendipity, discovery, all of these things, these emotional moments matter just as much, if not more, as content delivery. Up until now, I would say that virtual events really, and even Hopin and all of the good platforms that are out there focused on the content delivery. But it puts participants in a very passive seat, and that's really something that needs to change to really have the active attention that virtual events need to have. And if you look at, there's actually a role that I think is going to be very important for the future of virtual events, is looking at how game designers think. That's literally what they do, right? If you put tic-tac-toe on a game, you're going to lose people very quickly. So game designers spend a lot of time figuring out, how do I make just this room interesting to just explore and find little things, etc. like that. So thinking about how will participants move through the experience? How will they make unexpected connections? How do I give agency to my participants is the kind of creative muscle that I think event planners will have to develop.
So let's dig deep or in the past for a bit, because you've been in the industry quite a bit of time. And you don't have to show your age, you don't have to say how long, but like be very honest. In the events world, has anything changed since when you first came into it?
Yeah, first of all, I got older, and a lot of and a lot of people who used to play video games are now entering the workforce, and these are the new participants, right? They come expecting digital experiences to work exactly like gaming platforms that they used to, right? It's got to be interactive, spatial, explorable, etc., etc. I mentioned the game designers before, but gaming has really proven that you can feel genuinely connected in a digital space.
Yeah.
People literally find their significant others in games now.
And isn't it funny though? Like you see the trends, you see it's not even younger generation, because I have seen people, especially like my generation, they get lost in a world of like an Animal Crossing, or like even some people still do the Roblox, Fortnite, all of that, because it's a different setting, it's a different mind, like it's a different experience. So why is it so hard for event planners and event design strategists, for example, to embrace that as part of their portfolio of community or of experiences?
Why is it hard? Because I think that it's a mind shift, right? Uh, it's not something that I think really was talked about or thought about even 4 years ago, right? Before COVID. I think it's just timing is everything in life, and up until I would say a couple of years ago, this just didn't matter as much, and now it will. The world has drastically changed. You have young people who have these kind of expectations, and like you said, I think everybody much prefers to be in person and feel that connection. Yet it's going to be inevitable that with everything becoming remote, including the workplace, etc. Virtual events are here for the long run, and now we have these discussions around how do I get this type of active attention in virtual events, something we didn't
Fantastic.
really care that much 2 years ago.
You know
So
what?
let's take everyone there.
You're making me laugh so much. Right? So I was the editor of PC Magazine, and I had to go to these gaming conferences, and I would beg my kids, just teach me enough about Zoom that Doom, sorry, not Zoom, Doom, that I could get through the first level and not look like an idiot. And so they would sit and show me the controls. It's a different skill set. So now we have to find out about his beret. So did your beret come from Zoom? Did it come from where did it come from? And why doesn't it stay on your head all the time?
Actually, it works pretty well. This one is from Zoom, I must say. Yeah,
It is from Zoom.
it is from Zoom,
So
but it does work pretty well, I must say.
so you're starting, and my point to you, Dahlia, is you're starting to see that. So the other day, so Google Meet now has makeup. And so you can just be your tired self, uncaffeinated, and put on a little freshener by going to their appearances and selecting a filter, and it works pretty well. You can actually move your head like this and your makeup stays with you. So I think you're starting, to your point, David, see game mechanics built into some traditional platforms. What do you think?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's gonna, and now, you know, if you were already aware of it, I'm sure I'm not teaching you, I'm not telling you anything you didn't already know, but if you were not aware and today you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense, you're gonna notice it everywhere, absolutely everywhere. Everything is being gamified, everything is bringing delightful moments, even in the most boring app. Like when you order Uber Eats or Uber, you'll see there are lots and lots of these little game features.
A lot of
So
coffee jokes in the chat.
Yeah. Yep.
So, and any other so we are going to try, as we always do on this show, try an experiment, and it's a pretty cool one, and I have to give David a lot of credit because he designed it especially for this audience and for this day. And so you don't have to do what I did or what David did or what Mia did. You do not have to put anything physical on yourselves, and we're going to walk you through how to get into this world. But before we do, anything, questions, thoughts?
there will be Q&A in the chamber experience as well, in case you know, all of a sudden you come up with new questions.
So with that, let me just let's see where we are here. So we've kind of discussed, and David's going to prep you to enter our spooky new world. We come back to Zoom at the end for some announcements, but if we lose you, that's okay. We'll find you other ways. I hope you survive and it inspires you about new ways to meet. And it really is pretty exciting. I'm not going to tell them what we're going to do. It's a surprise. David, you take it away with your instructions.
Perfect. So there's a link in the chat that Gigi just put there. Please click on this, open this in the browser, Chrome preferred. I think it works in everything else, Edge and Chrome preferred. Click on this. It's going to take a minute, so probably like 20-30 seconds. So you can start clicking on it and listen to me here. Very soon, what I'm going to do is, actually, I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to share my screen, first of all, so you can see what I see, and I'm going to give you a very quick tutorial. Very good. Cool. So if you are staying on Zoom and you're on a mobile phone or something like this, you can't join the chamber experience. No worries. I'm going to share my screen so you will see what I see. If you are lucky enough to have Chrome open and you can join the experience, I think it's going to be a lot more fun. So first of all, when you join, I would advise you to go to the top right. There's your avatar, which pretty much just says guest. Click on it, edit bio, put your name and title. It's just going to make the whole experience a little bit better, because then when you want to see the list of people in the chamber experience, instead of guest, it will actually say your name. I see that all of you seem to be pretty comfortable with moving around, but if you don't know how to move around, there are two ways. First of all, you can literally use your mouse and double click on the floor anywhere you want to go, as simple as that. Second way, and by the way, you can combine them. Second way, you can use the cursors, you know, the arrow keys, up, down, left, etc. So as you can see here, I'm walking around a little bit. A couple of minutes on what you're seeing. So right now I'm speaking on Zoom. At some point I'm going to drop and I will be speaking on Chamber. What you're seeing, by the way, is a venue that can be customized for whatever type of event you have. So the walls are there, you know, but everything that you see here can be configured very quickly. You don't have to work with an agency. You don't have to spend $500,000 on creating this. You literally either work with us, or probably in a month or two, you know, we'll have a bunch of customization options that you can use right out of the box, and you can have a Christmas event. You can really have any theme that you want. For this particular event, you know, we wanted to have a spooky theme, so that's what I see. I see a lot of people moving around, so it's quite fun. Let's move around a little bit. Phil, yep. what you can do is let's all walk a little bit to the main room. So if you keep walking, as you see here, if you see on my screen, but if you also follow me, this is the main stage. So let me see where people are. Yeah, I see people are navigating a little bit everywhere. So that's all good. If you see a screen with a movie with skeleton, well, I see someone is already dancing. That's quite cool. Try to join me where we are, and we can try to do a thriller dance. Walk down the stairs, and yeah, yeah, I see everybody's coming, so that's good. That's good. That's good. Great. Feel free to join the show. I'm going to, and here you have some emojis on the bottom right. If you click on them, you can also click dance, and we will all be dancing to the tune of Thriller. I'm not sharing the YouTube Thriller video, but uh, you can see it's quite cool. We're all dancing to Thriller, and there's a bunch of avatars. So the movements that we see here can also be customized. Up until a couple of days ago, we didn't have Thriller. And then after speaking with Gigi and Robin, we are like, oh, this would be cool if we all kind of dance to it. And now you can see this is the type of moment that people stay for, right? Right now, you're listening to me, not because I have very interesting things to say or a cute French accent. You think because this is fun. And that's really the type of moments that we're trying to recreate with Chamber. Very good. Feel free, by the way, this event will be live for 8 hours, so you can stay in it, even after this call, walk around, click on things. There are very, very cool stuff. For now, I'm going to, since you guys, also organize events, you see my view. So most of you probably don't see this because you're not a speaker, so you cannot enter the studio. You only see this. Here you see everybody who's joined. You can also double click on any avatar that you see. So if I can click on this person here and I see Nidoshan, and we have private messages. Hello. So all of a sudden, the serendipity that I was talking about, chatting with one another, become all of a sudden I see a funny costume and I can send a message to someone in chat. It's just much more natural. You have the good old, Q&A. You have, I'm going to start the Q&A right now in Chamber. So if you see my screen, you can start asking questions and I will answer them. We have some polls, so feel free to answer the polls anytime you want. So these were questions provided by Robin. And, and we have a community chat here. And Sean, you're confused. Feel free to ask anything you want. All right, so we're gonna now. I'm gonna move Dalia onto the screen, and we're gonna continue this interview in Chamber. But fear not, as I said, I'm going to continue broadcasting this to Zoom so you can follow along even if you're not in Chamber. So I'm bringing Dalia on stage. So Dalia, you muted on Zoom, which is good. And you probably want to turn on your camera on Chamber. It's that little icon here. I'm going to do the same. Okay, so I need to stop here, stop my video. There we go. Okie dokie. So I'm going to go on stage and we're going to go live. There we go. Hello, Dalia. Oops. Okay, so why can I not? Okay, this is where this is a little bit complicated because I'm actually broadcasting Zoom into Zoom. So let me see why it's not working for me. Dalia, can you speak? Can you unmute your microphone? You see on the where it says.
Can you hear me?
That's it.
Hello. Yes. You guys can hear me. Woo-hoo. Thumbs up. I got a thumbs up from the alien. I got a clap from someone.
We lost your voice again.
I think, yeah.
Let's start Dahlia again.
Yeah. Sorry. Sharing Zoom into Zoom is proving to be a little bit more challenging than I thought. Trying again. Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you. Can you
Yeah.
hear me?
Yeah, I
I
can
think
hear you.
Dahlia needs to turn her Zoom mic on, maybe.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring her back to. I'm gonna bring her back.
And
We
I'm
can hear
putting
her
instructions in for
in the
those of
world.
you that have joined us late.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to continue broadcasting so people can see the venue, but I think it's going to be easier to continue the interview on Zoom.
So you are now all in two places at once. And you look like you're having a hell of a time. David, can you remind us how we change our name from guest to our real name?
Absolutely. Go to the top right, edit bio, and change your name.
Got it.
Yeah. So unfortunately, let me come back here. Unfortunately, guys, it's a little bit complicated what I'm trying to do. We're in Chamber, and at the same time, I'm trying to speak into Chamber and broadcast everything going from Chamber into Zoom. And for a reason that I cannot explain, it's not working right now. And it was working yesterday.
We're going to blame it on Zoom.
Yeah, we can. I mean, it's a little bit of a complicated use case. Usually, if people were not on phone or etc., everybody would have joined Chamber, and there would have been no Zoom call, and then everybody would hear directly from Chamber. I can try one last time, and then otherwise, I think it's safer to just bring Dahlia back onto Zoom to finish the interview. So I'm trying one last time. Share sound. Okay, there we go. Oh, now Zoom wants me to restart something. What is this? Okay. There we go.
I'm back.
You are back in Zoom.
I am back in Zoom.
And I got booted out of Chamber, so I'm trying to go back into Chamber.
So
being in two places at once is so complicated.
it is very complicated, but it agrees with my Sybil self. So I am actually living my best life right now. But David, I have a couple of questions for you.
Yeah.
So this
Can you guys hear me, by the way, via Zoom?
Huh? Can I what?
I think, Dahlia, if you can hear me, it probably would be easier now. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I cannot join the stage for I cannot stream you and be with you and stream what I'm seeing into Zoom for whatever reason. It's a
okay.
So let's try it the way it is right now. I cannot join.
But you can hear me through Zoom?
Yes, I can hear you through Chamber actually.
Okay, so my question to you, for those people that think, okay, this is fun, this is a nice to have, you can do Thriller and all of that. Let's talk about it from like a sponsor perspective or like a content or a revenue perspective. Talk to us about like digital placement of either content or of ads or even product launches and sponsorship information.
Yeah, so when I was giving a little bit of a tour, and guys, by the way, feel free. I see everybody is staying on the stage, which is very nice because it looks very good from my point of view. But the space is quite big to explore. And by the way, we can have it even bigger. As you walk around, you will see a bunch of rooms which usually are dedicated to sponsors, where they can have not only, clickable screens with images, videos, presentations, whatever they want, but they can also have 3D objects that represent whatever it is that they may be launching, that people can interact with, move them around, zoom in, etc., right? So a lot richer. The interaction is just a lot richer, and even more importantly, can feel like the brand that you're trying to represent, right? Because it's not just going to be the logo, it could be down to the texture on the floor, on the walls, the lighting, etc., etc. You also have, sorry, something that I forget to mention, just like for a real event, we have extremely good foot traffic data, because right now, wherever you are at any second, we know, and we can then show you that we have graph for each of the rooms that you're in, so you can very precisely see how many people actually entered each room when and what they've done.
That's fantastic. So I see that Sean is having trouble hearing and so forth. So, are we able to put Sean on stage, you think?
Yeah. So right now, I think we're it's the fact that I'm streaming you
Yeah,
from Chamber back into Zoom
you're doing way too
is a little
much.
bit problematic. I
Yeah.
think it's probably going to be better for everybody else if, Dalia, you come back to Zoom and we just finish it there so everybody can hear the sound through Zoom directly.
Oh, but
Okay.
I'm definitely doing one more dance. There I go.
Me too. Me too. There we go. There I go. Yep. Let's do it. Yep. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Awesomeness.
But I think, yeah, the name of the game is use Chamber. Don't use Zoom to listen to sound from Chamber going into Zoom. So maybe next time we'll have everything directly within Chamber.
But
Yeah,
but,
that's
but David,
fantastic.
you could still talk through. I think everybody can hear you.
I think there's
If you
someone who
can't hear
cannot
David,
hear Dahlia. So I'm fine staying here, but I want to make sure people can actually hear me and Dahlia.
and walk through, so you have the screens where sponsors can support.
Yeah,
You
so
have
everything that you see, if people who are looking at my screen, people who are not in Chamber but just looking at my screen, I'm walking around a little bit right now. So you can see, I'm in a room. I see there's someone here. Hello, you. Uh, all of those things are very easily configurable. You can have static images, you can have videos, you can have logos, you can have a product that you're about to launch, a car or anything. You can have, for example, this could be a room with also its own speaker. So let's say you have a sponsor who you want to have the CEO, for example, of a company. It's very unlikely that a CEO would go to an event in person all across the world. Here you can have you can walk here, have this product launch, and all of a sudden the CEO of the company is on the screen right here. This is the type of stuff that's very easily doable in Chamber. You have little NPS indicator, when you go to the bathroom. Now, instead of sending a survey, how was it? You can have little feedback kiosk just like this. Sorry, by the way, I'm talking to people who are watching me on Zoom, people who are on Chamber. You don't know what I'm doing. I'm sorry. I'm having inception moments right now a little bit. But yeah, coming back to you,
So,
Dalia.
so David, actually a question that I have is what if you use the screens and like almost these little areas instead of a booth like on site at a show. So what if it is designed in the colors of the brand and there's different content that people can download or even maybe do a dance to get access to, and then you have the rep of the brand or the company taking the stage. How can the person or the speaker that's on screen interact with the attendees and vice versa?
So you can interact a number of ways. First of all, as I said, if you if whoever is on Chamber right now, if you look at the right side panel, you have the good old chat, you have private messages, you have Q&A, etc., right? And that's it's as simple as that. Actually, if you so that's one way to interact. The second way is you can literally a speaker is virtually present there. Dahlia is on stage right now, as you can see with the clown. But as soon as I take her off stage, she's just going to be around. So literally, you could walk up to her, double click on her, ask a message, and we will. Right now, we don't really have VIP features, but there could be a case where like a 500 people run to a speaker. So right now, it would actually work. But that's the type of thing that you just cannot do in person. By the way, I can literally walk up to her and block her from going any further if I really, really want to talk to her. Her avatar will not be able to move.
That usually happens
So,
in person as well.
I'm
So,
sure that's
but
why I mentioned that.
so if you can you hear me in Zoom?
yeah,
I'm
yes.
I'm going to read you the results of our poll because you might be interested. So when we asked people why what were the top benefits of meeting in immersive worlds, 67% said because it was fun and different. When we asked what the favorite Halloween movie was, no contest. Well, almost a contest. It was between Beetlejuice and The Shining. And when we asked what is your go-to Halloween song, it was a toss-up between Monster Mash and Thriller. If you have other ideas and feel like we missed something, just put them in the chat window in either Chamber or Zoom. We will see them.
I love that. I think, the first poll question, and kudos to you, Robin, for putting this one is, when you look at the top benefit of any meeting, especially if it's immersive, it has to be fun and different. Like if you're not having some type of energy that's in the creation of it, and you're just doing same old, content and program and 9 to 5 type of back to back, and there's no thriller dancing in the middle or blocking of, one avatar and another or changing skins. Um, we would be doing our events a disservice if we're truly not looking at like, engagement through a gaming eye, if you will. So I kind of like this, even though I do have I look like it, and that was the most scariest movie and book, in my
I forget.
opinion.
You're right. That goes in next year's. Um, so my question to Dahlia and David, do you find this more tired? I am definitely more awake than I am on many Zoom calls. I'm also working hard too. Do I get to a point where I relax and it becomes second nature?
David, you want to take this one or you want me to?
Couldn't hear the last part of the question.
I'm working harder. I mean, when I sit on a Zoom call, I know what to do. I'm working harder in this world. Does it get easier? I mean, I'm engaged, I'm attentive, I'm enjoying it, but does it get easier?
Does it get easier
Oh, to
for
do
you
everything.
as an
Does it
organizer or
become
as
second
as an
nature to
attendee?
navigate, to have a conversation, to know where to go? Right now, it took me, I don't know, the first 20 minutes to change my name and do a dance and clap. I'm really good at that now. But I think other people, from what I'm seeing in the chat, saying the same, it takes a while. But I used to say the same thing about Zoom. Why doesn't Zoom have a dress rehearsal meeting so
Yeah,
that you don't show up like, and for the first time you're trying things out, like bringing people on a stage?
I think it's exactly that. Also, as I kind of alluded to a little bit before, we are building for people who are coming from, who've grown up playing video games. People who, for those, for some people, this is actually what they do, when they don't work. If it's the first time you're entering this type of experience, I definitely I can imagine it's a little bit overwhelming because all of a sudden, you have you know Zoom and you know Google Meet the way they look, and now you have a lot more visual stimuli to deal with. So I understand. Also, we are a new company. This is, we've just recently launched. We're still, learning from how people use it, and things potentially will become even easier based on user experience feedback. But I'm quite convinced that easier is something we can fix. The one thing that cannot be fixed with the existing 2D platforms is this sense of, hey, this was fun and I saw something new, and I felt that other people were with me in the experience, and I think that's something we're solving quite well.
I love it. I love that I'm seeing everybody in chamber gathered around the fireplace. So well designed.
Thank you.
So let's see, other questions? Somebody asked if you can have a private conversation. David, you want to take that question from Nidu?
Yeah, so I can see that there's a question here. So we can have private conversation. Yeah, absolutely. So if you want, fairly similar as Zoom and everything else, there is a on the first icon in your panel is the group chat. Everybody can chat, with everybody in the event. The third one are private conversations. How do you start a private conversations? The good old way, you click on the people tab, you see people that you want to chat with, you click on them and you send them a message. The chamber way, which is a little bit more fun, is as you walk around, you can literally double click on an avatar and send a message to that person.
Love it. And the other question, Danny Stefanik, good to see you. I hope you're still here. He asks, what's the average land speed of a cheetah? Anybody want to guess in the chat? Oh, average land speed of a cheetah.
I think Mia said it. Al is here. Hey, Al. Wow, look at that.
So let's see. I think, can everybody manage to get back into Zoom for the rest of the conversation? Or are you having too much fun?
So I stopped sharing. So now people not on Chamber are not seeing Chamber anymore.
Okay, let's see who made it out alive. I'm going to go back into my Zoom, and we got 22 people who that was more than started. So maybe we had cloning going on in chamber. Maybe there were actually
That's a new superpower.
new people being born.
Sure.
Yeah, so I really I'm going to go to this and have some announcements at the end, but let me go back here. Give us some thoughts. You all made it in, you all made it out. And I have to tell you, we did this very early on. Dahlia, I'm not going to say it in the P word. We took people to different immersive worlds, and it was we lost them. We lost them. So they never came out. They couldn't sit down. They couldn't find anybody. They couldn't identify people. So David, you have taken this a long way. And our audience, whether you're on LinkedIn, Facebook, or here with us, you've become pretty skilled at navigating new worlds. So here's to us, right? Other thoughts? Anybody now where that you can take the microphone? Kate, I think there you go.
This is way out there, dears. I'm one of those who was born after games were invented, like Monopoly. There's a person, it's like, oh God. There's a person named Kelly Bosch who does AI generated art on YouTube. It is spectacular. I want to go be in the world that woman creates. Can you incorporate that level of creation with AI? And if you haven't seen her, I mean, it's like astonishing. There's probably others who do it, but she's one I follow. Can you bring in that level of imagination and imaginative place to what you're doing now, David? Or are you looking at it down the road?
So I do not know the person you're referring to. So I can't I can't really visualize the type of experience
Yeah.
that you're describing. But I can tell you a little bit how we're using AI, which is for us, the idea is to create an AI playground. Can you hear me well? But am I muted?
I can. It's my old
Oh,
computer.
got
Here.
it,
I
got
looked
it.
at the wrong
No,
computer.
no,
There
but
you go.
also
Yeah.
I'm using
Yeah.
a very cheap microphone sometimes. Um, where was I? Yeah, so the idea here is to use an AI playground. And the idea, again, there's a theme of serendipity that I've been mentioning, is what we've noticed is there are 10 new AI tools coming out every day right now. And usually what is the pattern? You find a new one, you experiment it, and the ones that are good, you create some type of content or experience, and you share it with your friends, which is very good for us because, for example, we have a jukebox that you haven't seen here where you can walk to and you can create a cool song via Sonio, etc., and then play it for everybody in the event, right? So that's just one example among many others that we're going to take care of, but that's how we're thinking about AI for visual experiences, but also for more subtle stuff such as right now, when nobody wants to ask a question, there's like no one asked the first question. Now AI will be able to suggest new questions based on the chat, that sort of stuff. So there's some subtle AI and some more visual stuff. Thank you, Kate.
Yeah.
Robin, do you want comments from just anybody?
I do. And is Danny Stefanik still in the room? Because he knows a lot about these worlds. Danny, are you still there? Maybe not.
Oh,
He
actually,
did.
that's funny enough. Danny and I spoke, I think, like yesterday. He reached out to me on LinkedIn.
Yes, Danny did. Oh my God, he did Burning
I'm
Man's
here.
virtual world. He did say thanks for the tour, David. So, so good for you. But Bill, I think I heard your voice.
Yeah, I was just so Robin, visualize a NAB or a CES or one of these events where that you have a combination physical and virtual, but the physical world that the exhibitors are coming to is built like the virtual world. So, you have a combination where that you can bring both of them together. If you start, I think the evolution, they still basically cut the floor up into little tiny squares because that's the way they've always done it. And they're not going to change it because that's how they sell the space. If you want to be able to make the events look different, then we've got to reimagine how we're going to do these gatherings. And it's not solely going to be physical anymore, and it's not solely going to be virtual anymore. There's going to be a combination. So, reimagining how you combine them and create the kind of experience that we just had, which was a lot of fun. But I spent most of my time. Now I'm listening to what David is saying, but at the same time, I'm running around the space because I want to see everything that's in there. And I'm trying to figure out, okay, where all can I go? What are the things I can do? It takes a little bit of effort, training, or experience in order to be able to become proficient. But
Yeah.
once you get the hang of it, it becomes lots of fun, just like Kate was saying, is that the experience becomes a lot more interesting than just going to a physical event and wandering around a show floor.
Well, I think every real physical show floor should have a camera overhead and should be able to, it should come with the part. You're buying floor space, why not buy web space? And it really makes me
Perfect idea.
crazy when major event spaces have not done that, especially in their remodels. You should be able to be in two places at once, just like we were. But I
So,
see, let's see, I see
Robin,
Dan.
that's the fourth dimension. So we've got three-dimensional
Yeah.
booths. Now you just added the fourth dimension. They're looking for ways to make more money, right?
You got it. Danny, I see your mic.
Yeah,
I know I
can you
called
hear
you
me?
out. It's
Can you
great
hear
to
me now?
see you.
Can you hear me?
Can we hear? Yeah.
Yeah, you can. Okay. You can hear me okay or not?
You're down low. You still building worlds?
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. So you can hear my audio okay or not?
It's low, but we can hear.
Okay, well, I'll speak up.
There you
But
go.
actually, David and I had the pleasure to meet the other day. So his technology is pretty fantastic. I think we're complementary in what we're doing. So it's great to see another champion of this space.
Yeah, two pioneers if ever there were. So it's great to see your face. And I see Kathy. Oh, and Mark had his hand up first. Mark, you have a question?
Well, I had a lot of comments actually. I've got a lot of experience with virtual worlds and interactivity and stuff.
Go for it.
I don't know where to start. There's a lot actually. The the ability to create worlds and set things up to give an interactive experience can be a great thing and it's amazing. User interface matters though a lot. While the what was the place called again? What was the thing we used? It was Chamber. Chamber has a very easily accessible use where people can just join and it's this nifty tool. Unfortunately, the controls are very rigid and limited, so it's kind of difficult to move around and in my opinion have fun in. So there are other platforms that obviously do better, but I've seen things like this in Fortnite where they have an entire concert inside of it and on VR chat where people can create a world and give people the ability to interact with things and watch things on the screen and even give people a stage because you can make a global announcement thing. So these things are really cool. But you're right about how interactivity and games have brought people together. There have been tributes done to people who were couples in a game. People have come together in games. Like in Final Fantasy 14 and PlanetSide 2, there was a couple that were like heavily game players of those, and one of them had a spouse die, and people came together for that to give a tribute. They lined up on the along the paths and tried to share that with people. It's incredible how close people get. My closest friend, he
So I was
met somebody in VR chat and married them. Sorry, go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, we've heard that so much,
yeah.
Mark. And there's a real it would be great. We have many screens in our life. We have glasses that are becoming more and more popular as a way to not load yourself up with a VR headset. So the question is, how do we all get along? And I think, what David's done is sort of show how kind of we can all get along in physical and virtual spaces. But you are right. Jumping, somersaulting, dancing, firecrackers. I think I think there's sort of no end. So what are you in Fortnite the most, Mark?
No, I usually use VR chat and I'm usually involved with VR chat role plays where DMs are in charge of a lot of things and they have interactive buttons to make the world interactive for a bunch of improvised players
Yeah.
that are going along with a massive story.
So here's the thing. The thing is, it's also, I'm going to just say it has to be inviting. So I go into VR chat. Well, I go in with my grandchildren. I'm going to date myself, and I say to them, "Oh, look, the gorillas love me. They're trying to hug me." He says, "They're not trying to hug you. They're killing you." That's where. So I think, in order for wider adoption, there's got to be. Oh, I'm going to call it a newbie pen or a place to get acclimated. It's really hard. I find the kids in VR chat, they have a sniffer, even if it's in VR. They know who I am. They know I don't belong, and they're not super nice about it.
Yeah.
So as you go ahead and design, think about that because it's really an obstacle. And I do believe that older people in general, as their world shrinks, the world of VR is going to be hugely important for them as a way to stay in touch and in contact. So I think we all have so much work to do to make the world of VR intergenerational. But thanks for sharing, and I'm so glad that you were here.
Robin,
Kathy.
can I put in one more comment on what you just said? This is
Sure.
Bill. Yeah. So I'm working with a medical robotics company right now that is using gaming theory and gaming in order to be able to rebuild neural pathways in stroke victims. So, yeah, exactly what you were saying. There is a need for the ability for,
Yeah.
some of us who are a little older to be
Yeah.
able to learn, right?
No, it's totally intergenerational, and that's what I love about it. I can get advice, and you better believe associations like AARP are sinking tons of money into VR right now. And I'll give a plug. If you don't know about Ori Inbar show, Augmented World Expo, you should, and put it on your calendar. You will see
Yeah, that's a great event.
some really great things
But I
there. So
think, yeah, I sorry to cut you off, Robin. I do think that, in regards to new ways of delivering content or creating communities across generations and across interests and across different sociographics as well, there needs to be a very detailed type of uh, almost journey blueprint. If you are Robin, this is your best way of having the best experience of your life within Chamber. If you are Mia, then this is your path. Or if you're the grandchild of Robin, then I don't have to tell you anything because you're going to figure it out and you're going to tell us how to use it. But we're at a cross point right now where we are supposed to, as an orchestrator, like David said, be very intentional on how you design the personal journeys within an event or a platform or even an in-person. Like, how many of you have gone on an in-person event and felt lost and did not know how to navigate, even the trade show or go to the breakouts that you were supposed to? Then you ended up in the coffee little cafe because you just gave up and the mobile app ditched you. You didn't ditch the mobile app because it didn't freaking work. So we're at a crossroads of show me new ways of engagement, make me active, make me work for it, and I will work for it, but then give me the blueprint on how to do it.
so eloquent, and Dahlia's the best at facilitating these
love
kind
you
of things
too.
in the real world. We have time for one more question, Kathy. I see your hand up so patiently. You still there?
Hi, Robin.
Hi.
So
I'm so glad you dressed for this.
I had to. You said Beetlejuice was a favorite, right? So I'm the sandworm.
Go for it.
Anyway, I'm actually a neighbor of Robin's in Germantown, and I don't have a big business. My hair is looking lovely after that. But I'm involved with my local library, which is, this is probably an unrealistic platform for achievability for a small rural library. But as I'm watching this, I'm kind of envisioning we have a lot of, libraries are not just books anymore, lots of digital resources, but how do we get that information out? And so I could see something like this to entice like a younger generation to come in and explore. And in these different screens, there are the different things, whether you're learning a different language or you're accessing digital news or all the different digital resources that a library has to offer. But could they like click on a link that would then take them to, or is it more of like an information, like they would walk up to one of these screens and hear one of the rooms and hear a presentation about languages learning available through the library, but they couldn't actually click on that to take them, I guess, out of the chamber to go to a website where they could, oh, this is where I could learn about.
Yeah, no, very good question. And so we're starting with branding events, where people can, but libraries, schools, etc. These are definitely, the type of people we're talking to. Actually, we're talking to a major alumni organization that I can't really mention that. So there are a lot of interest for that. To address your particular question, we can absolutely do both already, which means you have some type of content that you can explore directly within Chamber, such as images of anything, PowerPoint presentations that you can scroll, videos that you can listen to, all of that. But you can also have a read more about, so to speak, right? Where you click something and it takes you to wherever you want.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Which could be like the university library or something like that, or to book
Okay.
it. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, and maybe this is something like we're part of a larger library system. So maybe not on an
Exactly.
individual library basis, on the library system or even the state library system that then becomes more affordable for the smaller guys, the nonprofits.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
It would bring so many new faces to the library, I think, just having fun. But
Yeah.
I'm going to close out this meeting because I'd
Thanks.
like to be aware of your time by saying that next month we'll be here on November 20th. We'll theme it around Thanksgiving. And actually, Kate will be on with her team showing how you, using an app that they've designed called Serendipity Salon, showing how you could make connections in those places where you know no one and you're lost and you're afraid. So that will be in November. We'll be sending out mailings on that. And I hope we see you in January at CES, where we are manning the creator space once again for creators of all kinds, running their wearables conference, their startup finance conference, and retail. And then we'll be at Silicon Valley Video Summit out in Mountain View, where the whole world, and I'm talking about the Metas, the Microsofts, the Googles, every enterprise now knows that they are a media company and video first. And then finally, we'll see you at the NAB show, where we are building a lab for creators where they can really up their skills and learn more about the equipment that they use. So in the meantime, we'll see you in November. I hope you don't eat too much candy. I hope you stay safe. And we'll see you right before Thanksgiving. Can't thank you enough, David and Dahlia, for joining us. And just in case you missed the beginning, I'll come on one more time to say boo, happy Halloween. Love you all. Thank you.